Do you think there are other ways to evolve the human consciousness, or do you think that yoga really is the best, most available tool for human beings?
Well, there's different paths to the spiritual summit, right? And different donkeys you could hop on and get there. And so even though yoga, I think, has been the donkey that I've had the most pleasant experience riding up
Mhm.
to the summit, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the same for other people. And I think that it can be that for a lot of people. To rewind back to the beginning, I did not like my first yoga class, my first yoga experience, my first meditation experience. I didn't take another yoga class for 2 years. That's probably because, like the donkey, the first time I hopped on the donkey, I wasn't being kind to it. You know, I wasn't really being aware of it. I was just in my mind, essentially, oh my God, is this donkey going to kick me off? This donkey kind of stinks. Like it needs to brush its teeth. Why am I even on a donkey anyway? Why don't I just take an easier form, an easier mode of transportation to where I'm trying to go? And we've learned, as whether it's psychedelics, just transcendental meditation, all these other things that have been very in a focused manner, trying to get people into a certain state of being or mind. There's all this relationship happening here. Like the studies about, when someone is on a psychedelic and the studies of someone who is in a deep meditative state, along with the studies of, brain maps of the human brain for long-term practitioners. This changes you at an energetic level. And I think for me personally, you know, yoga just seems like the more holistic way to do that. And if there are other ways to the spiritual summit that get people there in a very authentic way that helps them be a better human being, I'm all for it.
Yeah. All right. Great
No,
answer.
all right. Well, now I'm gonna take my interviewee hat off and put my interviewer hat on. Gina, much like you were asking earlier, I think me and other listeners would like to hear about how you discovered yoga or how you came to yoga. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, I started out doing videos because this was in the '90s, and there weren't yoga studios in Wyoming, really. So I started doing videos that I got at the library and that people were loaning me, and then I had in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, I took a class at a college for um, for my degree, in yoga, and so it was like a semester of yoga, um, and that was good. I didn't super it was kinda like neither here nor there. It was like, "Yeah, I like yoga, I like this." And then, when I went to a different university in Laramie, and I went to a studio there and I took classes, whoa, yoga kinda broke me open. Really
Mm.
good teacher, Emily Brown, um, just yeah, kinda
Yeah,
broke
Emily was
my
great.
Emily, man, that
It is
woman.
great. Emily, if you hear this, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, changed our lives. Um, yeah, really changed my life. After I got out of college, I was going through some tough depression, and my friend drug me to yoga again. I kinda had a we did in college, we did yoga together often at Blossom Yoga, and then we graduated and went into the professional world, and then, yeah, deep, dark depression didn't so much surface as come crashing down on my life, and, yeah, I was really struggling to stay alive, and so,
Mm.
my friend took me to back to yoga, and it was like, "Okay, for this 1 hour in class, I am okay." And so I started going every day, and then that led to teacher training. Never intended to be a yoga teacher, but my favorite class
It's
was
funny
gonna
how
be
that works.
right? My favorite class was gonna be canceled and at the local yoga studio where I practiced, and the owner was like, "Well, you could just teach it or it's going away." So I started teaching it, and you know, shout out to Sylvia Carl, like, she saw something in me that I didn't know was there or believed could be there as a teacher, and, yeah, I love teaching yoga.
Well, that's just the as a my view of that now, it wouldn't have been back then, but that's just the universe doing what it does, Gina. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Energy touching energy and, so yeah, thanks for sharing that.